This is Open Ears, a podcast by Crash Ensemble. My name is Alain McFadden, musician and producer of Open Ears. On this second episode of Season 4, I chatted with musician and composer Peter Broderick. Together, we listened to Invitation to a Journey by Deirdre Gribbin. Hi Peter.
Hello Alan, good to see you.
It's good to see you. Yeah, really delighted you could jump on and do this podcast. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thanks for the invitation.
So, just before we start, do you know much about Crash Ensemble, or would you have heard much?
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what I know. I've seen Crash play live a couple times with Rachel Lavelle.
Oh, of course.
And with Roche.
Amazing.
So I've seen those two collaborations, and I also I know Kate for quite a long time. I first met Kate in, I think, 2010.
Cool.
When I was in Ireland with this Danish band, Afterklang. So I met Kate then. We got put together on a project there, and then we just would occasionally bump into each other over the years. But Kate would be the one I know the most.
Oh, cool. So, yeah, this piece that we're going to listen to is really the fruit of a really important collaboration. So it was written by Deirdre Gribbin, and it was very much made collaboratively with CoisCéim Dance Company and Fishamble, new play company. And so it was devised as a collaborative performance, as a theatre piece for basically showcasing the life and work of Eileen Gray, who was one of Ireland's most important artists in architecture and a pioneer basically of like the modern movement in architecture. She was amazing in the 20s. She did some incredible work, and so they devised this whole play together with like lots of movement and like acting as well. There were members of Crash in it and participating in it at the same time over some pre-recorded things. So it was done a few years ago. So like, I haven't seen the play either, so I don't know. So my feeling of it is from the listening experience of the imagery and learning a bit about who Eileen Gray was as well. Definitely very much inspires the music in my mind anyway. You know, that's kind of what I'm going in listening to it. You know.
Yeah.
Right. Well, will we give it a listen? So. Are we back?
That was a journey.
It was a journey. It's funny sometimes when I listen to contemporary music, having like context behind a piece before listening to it can sometimes inform what I'm imagining in the music, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Thinking about this character
Yeah.
big time. I think if I didn't know that, I would have, yeah. I don't know. I always find that context is so helpful for music, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like it's a framing sometimes as well, where you can like your mind can go into and
Yeah.
work around the I don't know the structure of it. Like I really felt maybe it's because Eileen Gray was like you know an architect and a pioneer and stuff. It felt very angular and in places, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I was immediately conjuring up like the angles of a cityscape, you know?
Yes,
You know,
totally.
these urban, dense urban, like I had like New York City in mind actually.
Oh, cool.
I was kind of thinking of when it started off, I loved how boldly it started, you
Yeah.
know? It reminded me of just like trailblazing, you know, like not disregard for what's come before, but a sort of like dogged, persistent blazing of one's own path or something, you know? And
Totally.
again,
Yeah.
that's probably something that would have only come to mind having known about this woman, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I knew I was reminded of something at the beginning, but I didn't figure it out till the second piece. And this, I don't know if anyone else would get this reference, but I was thinking of Hitchcock
Oh,
for some
cool.
reason.
Yeah. 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 Totally. I get
And
that.
these images of like, you know, cityscapes and I think it was just some of the timbres as well, the strings and the bells and the drama as well, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And the like, in particular, like I think in the second piece as well, very like you're saying, you're just thinking very Bernard Herrmann would like there was that 7/8 piece, and there was like angular and like the construction and the building, and the second piece is called Triangle of Desire, and it really felt like
Yeah.
a building and the desire and stuff, and then it all comes down, and then it's like it's a rebuild again, you know.
Yeah, that was really interesting, the second half of that piece. And what I felt immediately was like I was taken to, you know, if the first piece and the first half of the second piece were like, you know, this trailblazing thing, like I said, and the ambition and the vision of someone's work and the bold pursuit of it, you know, and and perhaps a a keeping up an outward appearance for the world, and then in the sense that like when that second half of the second piece came, I felt like I was shown something more delicate and fragile, more like it reminded me of like the inner workings or the behind the scenes things of someone who has this very bold and courageous outward vision and ambition. But then, of course, behind the scenes, there's something always something more fragile and vulnerable, and it might not even be seen from the outside from someone who's just looking at the work,
Totally. Yeah.
you know. But when, of course, when you go to tell someone's story, the story of a person, you'd be amiss to leave that part out.
For sure, there was like really, yeah, like there was real delicacy in it as well, and I was thinking as well, just having the context of it, it was like that. The fact that it was such a collaborative process that it was like, it made me really think of the dance and imagining the dancers and this story in particular. There was like in a way, there were moments that kind of reminded me of like the Rite of Spring with the percussion and the kind of like the ballet performance coming into it as well. And like there's all those sweet moments and that delicacy, I think, in the third piece as well, with the really lovely, like the flute and the guitar. They were kind of like playing off each other, and it was creating this really lovely rebuild of like, and then it kind of crescendos into a really nice space. But I really felt I was imagining the dance, even though I've never seen it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm gonna make a guess that it is more of an impressionistic portrayal,
Yeah.
having heard that, but I could be wrong, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm not sure either, you know. In my mind, I was like you're saying, I was like in a cityscape, and it was being built, and the angles were being built, and then it was, yeah, coming down and being rebuilt again, and in a stronger kind of way. It's kind of where my
Yeah.
mind was going, you know.
Interesting, yeah. Yeah, cool. Yeah, because I looked up a few images of some of the like furniture design and
Cool.
stuff from Eileen Gray before we got on here, and so some of those pieces of furniture were coming into my mind
Amazing.
as I was listening to the pieces, and I just was thinking, yeah, what an interesting concept to, not that the composer was trying to do this, but to the concept of soundtracking a piece of furniture.
Yeah.
You know, what does that chair sound like?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that coffee table? And I felt like at least some of the things that I looked at, they were elegant, but they were also a bit bold and a bit sort of angular. Not always angular, sometimes round, but and elegant, but like a little bit spiky somehow. A little bit like not just sitting there in the corner unnoticed, you know, a little bit bold somehow. So yeah, I felt the music matched that very well.
Yeah. There was a really great I like the timbres of the instruments and the composition as well. It was like really, like it sounded industrial at times, and being driven by the bass and the drums, and then like it was just a really lovely spectrum of sound. Yeah, it was like I felt like it was a really good indicator of the levels of the orchestral arrangement to it, like with Crash. You know, it was really cool.
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of surprised when you look at the list of players.
Yeah.
It's a bigger sound than you would think is possible from this many players.
I know, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players. It sounds like a full orchestra.
It's amazing.
It's really expansive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really was enjoying all the melodic percussion and bells so much.
Oh, the bells are gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I felt like all the pieces, they weren't on top of each other, you know? It was like everything about it was really well spaced.
Yeah, and there was a really nice balance of like demanding and giving. You know, there were for me, like I would struggle if music is like entirely cerebral and intellectual. Cerebral.
Yeah.
Not that I can't appreciate it. It's just that it mightn't leave me with a lasting impression or feeling of being close to it, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas I really appreciated the moments in this that sort of reached out and gave something rather than demanded, you know?
Yeah.
There was an interesting balance there.
I'm the same. Like, with a lot of, sometimes I find with contemporary music can be just like, whoa, it is just this cerebral thing. I have no idea. And me personally, I like having moments like this piece really does. And there's moments where I'm not being overwhelmed by the wall of sound, or like, there's a lot of really beautiful melodic moments in it. Like really kind of brings me in, and like we were saying earlier, having context behind something as well definitely helps.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, yeah, I feel like it changed the whole experience of listening it to the piece for me. I was just, it's funny how it does that. You know, you're like, it's nearly like art as well. When you go to see contemporary art, if you don't really know sometimes what you're looking at are like the information that what the artist is trying to portray to
Yeah,
you.
what's
Like,
behind it?
what's behind it? Yeah, it's really nice just to sit and listen to some music and have a chat about it. You know, it's kind of what
Yeah.
this podcast is all about. It's just kind of like, because it doesn't really happen often where you get to just sit down and listen to a new piece of contemporary music, and you know.
When do we do that with each other anymore?
I know.
We have such solitary, isolated music experiences, except for at a gig.
Yeah, that's probably it, really. When you go
yeah.
to see a gig, or but it's like everyone consumes music on their own, so it's really nice to just sit and share. Also, just like music that maybe it's harder to access, or it's just people aren't as aware of it in the world, you know.
Yeah, gosh, yeah. I mean, I was definitely struck as well by just like, wow, there's so much incredible music out there.
Yeah.
I thought, if I heard this on the radio, like on Lyric FM, I would definitely stop and be like, what is that?
Yeah.
So that's a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for jumping on again.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been really nice
Thank you.
to listen and have a chat with you. Deirdre Gribbin's Invitation to a Journey is available now on Crash Records. The title music was taken from A Chell by Ed Bennett. Visit crashensemble.com for more information. Thanks for listening.